Well, hello, and welcome back to today's video. Today we've got Beggars Opera. And this poster, if you look close, it's all squares on it. This is the fold-out cover. And I remember when I was a teenager, I remember one time in particular, we went over to this person's house, and in the bedroom above their bed, that's what they had. They had that stuck up on the wall. And at that time, I didn't even know what it was. I was probably 16 or something, and I was like, "Wow, what's that? That is really cool. What's that from?" The guy said, "That's from a record, Beggars Opera." Of course, I didn't run out and buy the record right at that point, but eventually I did get the record. Now, here is the record. Yes, it is on the famed Swirl label. And this is a Vertigo Swirl. And I'm lucky. I got this at a record convention at the same time when I bought some of those other records I was talking about. And it's in, pristine condition. Under this light, it looks brand new. And here's the other side of the label. But it's a Canadian pressing. Sounds wonderful, of course. Yeah, try to find a UK press of that thing. Good luck on that. So that is Beggars Opera. Now, of course, they have other records. And here we go with the rest of the goodies for today. This is their first record, Act 1, Beggars Opera. This is on a German Vertigo Swirl. Inside gatefold, and the back cover, and then we go to the swirl. And this is a German swirl. And there's the front label. And you can see the little circles. You know that it's a German record now. That's when you see all this German writing in here. Yeah. Oberbengen, Lessen, Kursen, Borders, Verndesfong, Außer, Zum, Person, Snitchen, Gerbach, Verbigen, Afferhang, Sundering, Woberhadeln. Yeah. Okay. But that's what it said, according to me. I'm not German. You can tell that by my accent. So, that's the first one. The next one is Waters of Change. And this, again, came out on the Swirl originally. And this one is pretty hard. They're all hard to find, all these. Even these records are very, very difficult to find. I bought this one brand new in the record store over at Mother's Records on Portage Avenue. And it's on the Spaceship label. Now, we talked about the Spaceship label, and for those folks that don't know what that is, here's your Spaceship label, and you can see it's got the little Vertigo swirl down there as well. It's a Vertigo label. This is the second label for Vertigo. The first label was the Swirl. So originally this record would have been on a Swirl, but when they reissued it now, this is the first reissue, it's on the Spaceship label. And it's a UK pressing. And they sound great. As one of my subscribers had mentioned about the Black Sabbath records, if you can just get a Spaceship of the early Black Sabbath records, they sound just like the Swirls, according to him. So I've always liked the sound of this record. Very good record. Then we've got this is the Pathfinder, which is this record here. I was able to find this a number of years back. It's a reissue. But you know what? It's still on the fold-out cover. See that thing? It's all folds out. So it's just like this one, of course, but the coloring is not as good as the original, in my opinion. But what's cool is check this out. Yeah, it's a 180 gram swirl. Yeah, good old 180 gram swirls now. We weren't good enough. Those other ones weren't good enough. And I think I played it. I don't remember. But if I played it, there's nothing to write home about. And if I didn't, well, I need to. So obviously, I will do that very soon here and see how it stacks up to the original Canadian pressing. Then this is probably my most favorite Beggars Opera record. This is Get Your Dog Off of Me. And man, what a great song, that Get Your Dog Off Me. And the guitar player for this band, he is phenomenal. If they would just let him cut loose more, these records would be better. But, you know, they're more Oregon-oriented and singing. A lot of great vocals all the way through these records. And a lot of great keyboards. And just a great music. And this one, this is also a Canadian press, and it's on the Spaceship label. Now I have purchased a UK swirl of this record, but you know, it came all scratched up and nasty, and oh, it's in excellent condition. You know, you just get tired of that over and over again all the time. So of course I don't even have it. I have it kicking around somewhere. Now, on this record, Beggars Opera does a cover tune of Classical Gas, and they do it probably better than the original. And on this one, on Pathfinder, they do MacArthur's Park, and again, it's probably done better than the original. Phenomenal, great songs, and great, done wonderfully. And this one now, this is their 5th record. Now the first one they started out in 1970, then 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. And they've got another one I think came out in 76, and then the band got back together and they put out 4 or 5 records in the 2000s, early 2000s, but I don't have any of that stuff. Didn't even know they did it. Now these records are hard enough to find, to tell you the truth. Very, very difficult to find these records. But now this one, see, this is no longer on the Philips label. It's a German press on Jupiter Records. And I think this is the only record I got on Jupiter Records. There's not a lot of Jupiters out there that I have ever seen. Okay, up next we've got Jeff Beck. And Jeff Beck is another one of those artist has been around a long time and has put out a plethora of different albums. And I used to probably have a stack of Jeff Beck records about that tall, but on the last purge, because a lot of them I wasn't listening to. So I decided what I need to do is I need to increase the quantity and improve the quality. So what I did was I got rid of all those records, and now I went out and I bought myself, because this is probably my favorite Jeff Beck record. If you don't know this record, Jeff Beck Truth is great. Great blues. You know, this is an old record, probably 1970 it came out. And this is the original one. Original Jeff Beck Truth on the Japanese Rock Now OB. And look at that record. Look how pristine that thing is. If you're not a record collector, you just don't understand how nice this is. And this is the only record that I have with Rod Stewart on it. Yeah, this record is so old, Rod Stewart hadn't even made a record yet. He's singing for Jeff Beck on this one. And it's on the Black Odeon label. And this is my favorite Jeff Beck record. We've got a little insert in here. Let's see what it's got. Jeff Beck Truth. Really nice book. Just history of Jeff Beck. It's all Japanese. But then we have one, and this is English on the back too. Lyric sheet. So this is a really, really nice item. And you know, nice big thick covers. It's 2,000 yen. And the fidelity is fabulous on this. You know, I probably had 3 or 4 different versions of this record. And now I've got the best there's ever gonna get on this, unless they do a 245 RPM one, like they've done to Blow by Blow. No, I've had this record in my collection for probably 20 years. I didn't get rid of this because it's on the, I really like the record, and it is half-speed mastered, and it does sound good. But it is on the 245 RPM, but, you know, it was like, should I go get the Jeff Beck 245 RPM, or should I get the new Jimi Hendrix Access Bowl of Love? Because these things aren't cheap. And then I got Wired. I like Wired, and I went and got that on the first edition Japanese label, and this is on the Orange Epic. And then I got this. I got this in the when this record came out, they weren't making very many records. This is an original press on Epic. And I got it when I was still in the record club. And I was, my story is I was the last person ever in the record club. Because it was in the 90s already. And they were telling me, hey Ron, it was probably like 89 or something, 88. They were telling me, Ron, why don't you join the CD club? We'll give you 10 free CDs. Come on, it's better than records. And I'm like, no, I'm good on the records. Because a lot of people will tell you the record club pressings aren't as good and all this, but you know what? The record club of Canada, you know, these big Columbia, they were pressing their own records, and the records said record club on them. So they didn't press a lot of them. They didn't make a lot of record club records. So I really liked them. I thought they always had good fidelity on them. And so this one came, and I'm going to look at the label for this for a sec. Be patient. It doesn't say anything on there. But anyway, I'm thinking what happened with this one, it was made in the U.S., and then they put a sticker on it for the record club. Because what happened was, they kept wanting me to join the CD club, and I ignored that for a couple of years. Then one day I got a notice in the mail. Oh yeah, by the way, Ron, you're kicked out of the club. We don't have one anymore. We're done with the record club. Thanks for your business. Bye. Yeah. Next up, Paul McCartney. Now, it's the same kind of thing with these records. You know, I used to have the 3rd edition of this on a Japanese press, and I always thought it sounded great. Because before that I had an original Canadian press. And the cover was pretty nice. It wasn't as nice as this one, but it was pretty, almost pristine, almost beautiful as this. And it had great sound on it. I thought this record had good sound on it. And then I got that 3rd edition Japanese press. It sounded better. So that's the one I had. And then Paul McCartney, in about 2009 or so, he reissued his first early records. And of course I bought one. And man, they were so beautiful. Gatefolds, double records. All the inner sleeves were thick and glossy with all kinds of beautiful pictures and lyrics and just everything a record collector wants in a record. And then I played them, and they did sound great. I said, well, what do you might compare it to? So I took that old 3rd edition, and I threw that on the turntable, and we listened, and man, I wanted that new one to sound better because it was so nice. But you know what? It didn't sound better. You could really tell in the drum kit, especially. So I started looking more, and I found out, yeah, they're made digital. Because there's certain things that the digital has a hard time getting correct. And one of them is, of course, drum skins has a hard time doing that. So I decided then I need to upgrade all my Paul McCartney records because I need to get the best version, but that new one's not it. So I got this one. Here's the inside of the gatefold. You know, this is all the same, but if you notice on the AP OB, it's 2,000 yen. And here's the back cover. Very, very nice record. Mint condition, basically. And I got this from of all places, a guy in Russia had it. And I noticed on that Discogs, there's quite a few sellers in Russia now. And I can remember, it's almost pristine, but it's got just a couple little teeny, very insignificant things on it, which, all things considered, it sounds fantastic. And this sounds a lot better than that third edition does. A lot better. It's all got the breath of life in the music. It's got that first edition transparency. So yeah, I'm so happy I've got this now. Made the investment, and now I don't have to buy any more. I got what I've got, unless Analog Productions puts it out on the 2 LP 45 RPM, which of course they can't, because they're never going to get the tapes from, you know, the people over there in England to do this kind of thing and make a great record. Next is RAM. Same thing. I used to have I think I had a second edition or third edition, and I went and got RAM on the same type of deal now. Great, great record. One of my favorites. Uncle Albert and everything's on here. Again, it's on a nice, very, very pristine record. And happy to have this one. Got the original inner sleeves in there. And one of my favorite ones, of course, is Band on the Run. And got the original, this is the first edition again, original press on the OB. But you know how this one was, it came with a lot of stuff. It came with a lot of things in it. This one, because it's Japanese, got this little insert. Then you got this poster. It's a big old poster here. Then you've got this. Some kind of book or something. Got this, and you've got this as well. In the Japanese press. Turn it over. You've got this. And then you've got that real hard inner sleeve. And then of course you get the record. And again, of all the copies that I've owned, and I think I've actually had a UK first edition, and I've had all kinds of records of this one. And this one is by far the best that I've ever had. Wonderful sounding record. Then you got Venus and Mars on a first edition Japanese press. Got like a bookmark in here. Got the sticker. Got the Japanese inner. Got the big poster. The big poster in here. Pretty cool. Poster number 1. And you got another poster. Poster number 2. Not that great. But you know, these always had a lot of different things in them. Poster number 2. And then the record. And here's your inner sleeve. Nice big thick inner sleeve again. But it's on that black capital label. And then, you know, you gotta have Live and Let Die. So I went out and I got it on the Japanese first edition. And I love it. And so thanks for watching.